Cheers! Welcome to my channel. This is a daily tarot oracle reading, Tattletales from Tales from the Vector. This is a general and collective reading. So if, take what works for you and just leave the rest. Also, this is a timely reading, meaning at this time, it is the perfect time for you to watch this reading. Having said that, if it's been a while since I posted, what was going on in your life back then? All right, we have my little co-pilot here, Stella. You're joining the reading, are you? Hold on a second, I'm just gonna make sure. Oh good, you can see it all. I'm still sharing my beautiful flowers here. They're still blooming away. My gift for Mother's Day from my daughter. And so I just had to make sure that I might move these over a little bit, that you'll be able to see the reading. All right, so we have the Seven of Pentacles, and the Pentacles in Tarot represent the element of Earth, and this is representing health, wealth, and happiness in the third dimensional world. So you could, it's represented by the coin, money, because money is a very important part of the third dimensional world, you may have noticed. But you could have all the money in the world and still not be living the lifestyle you want. So this represents lifestyle. And this person, he's put 6 pentacles of work into something, and he's only gotten a return of 1 pentacle. So the Seven of Pentacles is someone that's kind of looking at all the work they've put into something, the time, the money, and their energy that they've invested. And this is someone who's used to being successful, because there's only 10 pentacles in the tarot. So if 10 is the most, that would be our billionaire, trillionaire crowd. And then we would have multimillionaires at 9 pentacles. At 8 pentacles would be a millionaire. So this is getting up there. And so this type of energy is basically saying, like he's saying, I put all this work into this and I'm just not sure whether I want to continue, whether I should quit now. I don't understand what I'm doing wrong. Like I should have way bigger return than this. So that's what he's contemplating at this time. And then we have the Three of Pentacles, and the Three of Pentacles energy. Like if he had these other 3 pentacles, he would have 10 pentacles. So maybe that has something to do with it, because this is a card that's showing it. The Three of Pentacles is really good energy, saying that you have mastered your skill set, that you're you're ready to move, to really get into what you're doing. And there's people that are noticing that you're very good at it, and they're wanting to collaborate with you. So this would represent that you're in an elevated position. That's why you're on this bench. These 2 people have come to see the beautiful stonework that this person is doing, and they have plans, and there's a spotlight being shown on all the work that he's done. This energy quite often represents someone who has a special skill, or they have a skill that they're more advanced, they stand out from the rest of the crowd. Quite often you'll see this in the entertainment industry. This could be like actor and actress, that the producer and directors are approaching and saying, we want you to be the lead role in our movie. Or on Broadway, maybe you get the lead role. This could represent, musicians and bands, record producers and concert tours, that sort of energy, promoters. It could also be, if you're into sports, this could represent someone coming with scholarships to come to their college or university, or even better, you already have a scholarship and now they're wanting you to come play for their pro team. And this could also represent, maybe you're valedictorian of your class and you have a degree now. You have the ticket, you have if you're in the trades industry, you've completed your apprenticeship and now you can start your own business or work on your own. It's that type of energy. And so this card is saying congratulations for that, and it's recognize that you are in an elevated position now. If you're in the entertainment industry in particular, but in any industry, if you're being asked to sign a contract or make an agreement, a legal agreement, make sure you get a good lawyer to look over the contract, because especially in the entertainment industry, there's so many people that end up getting breadcrumbed like this energy. They don't feel like everybody else is making money and they're not. And that kind of, when I noticed that there's, 3 more and he would have what more of the return that he expected to have. So this is saying make sure anyone that you work with is in alignment with your lifestyle that you want to live. Because if you sign up for a contract, you don't be in the energy that no one else is going to come along and this is, like you have to hurry and make a decision. This is something that could be, this decision could go with you for a long, long time. So just make sure that they're in alignment and you're in alignment. And then we have here this energy of the devil, which is representing transition and, temptation. And the temptation, but it's sitting above transition here. So yes, this is an energy of, temptation, and quite often this can be representing lust. So that this couple they're yoked to each other and they're chained to Saturn's box, and the devil is crouched in between them, representing basic animal instinct. And so this is talking about lust over love. I was just picking up some energy around this, but I don't want to get ahead of myself. I'll come to it when I come to it. So this is talking about, it's very manipulative energy. You're not going to get the truth from the devil. So whenever the devil comes into my readings, I always take the next card up. I want to know what minion does the devil send in to do his dirty work, and what is it about? Or does God cover it? And we have, look at there, you decide, instead of taking the devil up on his offer, you decide to go to church, to meditate, to pray, to make the decision. And I do feel that you, this decision, the thing is what's coming up here. Sometimes this energy can represent secret society type energy, cults and all sorts of different, agencies, etc. And we see that in the news so much these days. And this history's rife with people who, especially in the entertainment industry, that end up and really, they're not happy. We can see it coming out in the news every day these days. The people at the top, I don't know what the heck, they have all the looks, they have the money, they have the talent, and somehow they end up living these miserable lifestyles. A lot, not all of them, but some of them. And those ones are being featured right now in the news with the files and all that kind of energy. So this is talking about, instead of accepting that offer, I feel like this is saying that you're taking the time to consider the offers. That's a really, really good energy to have. Instead of rushing into something, if someone's trying to rush you into something, you need, and you don't feel like you want to make that decision in a rush, then you need to take your time. This is really good energy to see. So this is talking about putting your mind to rest, and instead of going in the loops, going inward, meditating, praying. This person, it seems like they're in a church and they've put their mind to rest because they want to consult with the Most High. They want to know feel with their heart, what is it that they really want? Which company or which which direction do they want to go in? And this can represent hanging your mind on the wall so that it'll be quiet. And this is discipline of the mind. And the only way you can really discipline your mind is to make it quiet and feel with your heart what it is you really truly want, so your intuition can also kick in. The swords in tarot represent the element of air, and it represents your mental intelligence and your discipline of your mind. And these are double-edged swords, meaning that they have logic and intuition. And if you use both, then you end up being able to get in touch with your heart's desires rather than just making a logical decision that might not suit you down the road. And this energy is talking about, let's say your subconscious mind, which is formed by the time you are about 6 or 7 years of age. And, when you're a baby, you're like a sponge. You absorb your environment, and the values and the way you're brought up, by the way you're raised, by the people who are put in charge of your care, has a significant imprint on you. And usually by about the age of 6 or 7, it's heavily imprinted and it goes well into your adulthood. But when you think about it, you probably don't remember very much for sure when you were a baby, and possibly not until around kindergarten age. And this energy, you know, when we get worked up and we feel like, oh, we're triggered and we got to make a decision, we're anxious or whatever, we have a tendency to rely on the subconscious mind. It's the first one that pops up. But it's really not our thoughts. It's the thoughts of the people that brought us up in many ways. So it's not necessarily always the most reliable for making choices like this. And then there's also the energy of the unconscious mind, which is from the soul's perspective. And the soul, a lot of people will say, yes, I have a soul, but you know, from the soul's perspective, you are actually a human, you are a soul that is traveling in a human body, and this human body is your vehicle to navigate, to get around the earth. And so this, if the soul's needs are not met, then it'll start becoming very loud and arguing with the subconscious mind and the conscious mind. The conscious mind is what you're conscious of. Like, you know, I went here yesterday, I did this, I can tell you about it, and I have memory of it. And so this is like hanging them all on the wall. Okay, be quiet. I am meditating now. And I'm going inward, and I want to get in touch with how I feel about this energy. And so this is talking about, on this stained glass window is the word Pax. And this means peace, peace of mind. So putting your mind to rest and disciplining it. Be quiet, I'm feeling right now. Then we have the energy of transition, which is this death card. Many people get really frightened when they see this card. They are like, oh no, but it rarely means an actual physical death. What it means is transition. So an end of one cycle and moving into a new one, rebirth. And, you know, the Grim Reaper's coming into town. He looks really scary. He's not really meant to be he's not evil. He's just representing that energy of this transition. And in a lot of cultures, that's what he represents. But this person, this older person here, is bartering with him and saying, don't come into town. We don't want your change. And you can't stop change. You may have noticed that. Change is happening every minute of, every second of every minute of every day. And it's the one, you know, they say you can rely on death and taxes and change. And then this is the path of glory in the background here. This is when you're on your destined path, and you can see those two pillars with the sun in between. That's representing God's energy. This is also representing light at the end of the tunnel. You know, when you're born, you go down the tunnel and you come to the light. When you cross the veil, it's the same energy. A lot of people talk about that have had near-death experience talk about a tunnel, and then there's light. So the difference is you might get caught by a couple of idiots when you're being born. They might not, you don't come with a manual. They don't know what to do with you. Whereas God knows exactly what to do with you. So chill out. You'll be fine. This is also talking about this king has been trampled, and the king is not talking about like an actual person. This is talking about representing systems and monarchies and you know, governments, and how governments come and go, and you know, there's elections and there's differences in, you know, the world, countries switch, you know, there's a lot of energy around that throughout history. And this could be even representing something as simple as, like, maybe you have a hobby that you've always loved since you were a kid, and all of a sudden one day you wake up and you say, you know what, I don't feel like doing that anymore. And everybody's shocked, even you. But you just don't. You're done with it. You've learned everything you can from it, and you would rather put your time and energy into something else. And that's kind of this idea here. How much time, money, and energy are you going to invest in something that you don't want to do anymore? And then this is the Knight of Swords. So the Knight of Swords is talking about some sort of communication coming in. In the old days, the only ways that you could have long-distance communication would be, they would be traveling by horse, or in some countries possibly by camel, that type of energy. But that was, you know, so it would take a long time to get the information to where, you know, and then return the information. But there's 4 knights in the tarot, and this one represents the element of the swords again. So it's talking about some sort of information coming in, and this is the sword is we can only see half of it, so it might he might only have the half the information. We can't see the point. So can he see the point? We don't know. Some people consider this to be a fool rushing in, or it could be a spy energy running away, you know, from the enemy, and running towards to bring the information back. This can sometimes represent technology for spying, like cameras, hidden microphones, that type of energy. And the knight he's got this big red flag on the back of his helmet. The horse is totally stressed out, and horses represent your heart energy and also your passion. And so it's like this poor horse is just like, whoa, he's being driven hard, and they're running against the wind through barren land. So even the clouds look like someone ripped them into the sky. You know, it looks like very high anxiety, panic. And sometimes, like as I said, it's considered this person is in a panic. He's either running from something or towards something to get there before someone else does. And then we look at the difference here between these 2 knights. The Knight of Cups is your knight in shining armor. He's delivering a cup of love. Now, in tarot, the cups represent romantic love, but it also can be love of anyone or anything. And it could even be something you love to do or something you love to be. When it's the Knight of Cups, it generally does mean romantic love. This is the knight in shining armor that, you know, is dressed to the nines, the one you read about in romance novels, who has a really solid offer of love for the damsel in distress kind of energy. And then we have the Ace of Pentacles. And so the Ace of Pentacles is representing a gift from the divine in collaboration with the universe. And this is saying it's a reward because you've been following your North Star. And when you're following your North Star energy, it means you're on your destined path. That's called your path of glory. And you can see, like, there's the Laurel Gateway going that you can pass through here. And so there's some sort of reward of Pentacles coming in. This energy here, whatever happened here, I feel it's going to be rectified in some way. Let's continue here and see what's going on. And then we have the Knight of Pentacles comes in with some information about why these pentacles aren't where like you want them to be. And the Knight of Pentacles is the slowest knight in the deck, like totally slow. He's like, you know, at a standstill here. He has to sometimes have a board meeting with himself just to brush his teeth. He just, get in here with that information already. We're waiting for it. It's annoying. And so this energy, he's overlooking and deciding which way to go here. The one thing, though, about the Knight of Pentacles is once he makes up his mind, it's a solid offer and it's a solid decision. So if that's the kind of energy you're in. Now, in the old days, this energy would always be, you know, long distance like that. But these days, it's more likely that this information would be coming in quicker. So a phone call, a text message, maybe you get something in the post, which might take a while these days. But it could be you could get flowers or, you know, like I did, a delivery that way. This could represent an energy of being on social media and someone messages you. It could be an email. You might go to an event and run into someone and that's, hey, that's the information I needed. That's the person. That's my knight in shining armor. And this guy is probably running. I don't know. But this energy is saying also it's a really good idea to pay attention to what's happening in the world, because this whatever's happening at the top is definitely going to trickle down and affect everybody to some extent. And we have 3 knights out, which is really a lot of knights, a lot of information, a lot of communication coming in. Now, is it necessarily like, I don't know who's communicating with who here. There's so much, and we even have this energy coming in with this transition. The transition, this horse is running towards the transition. This horse is moving towards the pentacle energy. Both these two are moving towards this energy, your energy. So I feel like this knight is rushing towards this energy to say, hey, there's been a transition happening. And they might even be saying, they're saying, has this person made up his flippin' mind yet? And it's like, no, last time I saw him, he was laying in a church and he was meditating. And I think he's still there. And they're frustrated. And so, yeah, then we have the Page of Wands coming in. Page of Wands, another communication. So the pages would work for the king and queen at a much younger age, around 7 to 14. And this energy would represent, someone like, you have to remember back in the old days there, the lifespan would have been about half of what it is here. So there wasn't childhood like we know of it. Like, people would work very young and very early. And so by 14, quite often people were married already. It's that kind of energy. So if the pages were chosen to be page and work for the king and queen, it was a real coup for them and their family. It was very prestigious energy, living a much better lifestyle probably than everybody else. And so he has a feather in his cap, and he's really proud. And this is representing someone basically under the age of 21, and it represents enthusiasm for life. Having some, like in his case, he's representing the element of fire, and this is represented by a wooden wand. Now the wand is wood, because wood fuels fire, and it's about taking passionate action. And so you think of the Page of Wands, a young masculine energy that is, the pyramids in the background are saying that his love of traveling and adventure and knowledge and wanting to learn everything about the world and being really enthusiastic. And also very passionate. He has a tendency, if you look at him here, he is admiring his wand, and he really is looking up to it. So he has a tendency to think with his little head a lot of the time rather than his big head. And so sometimes when he comes in, you have to watch his information, not because he's anxious, but because he's always got his mind on something else. And so that's something to keep in mind. And then we have the Hierophant. All this communication and information coming in, but we don't really have a good grip on who it's about. Maybe we don't need to know who it's about. Maybe it's about, you'll know yourself. Definitely a lot of communication coming in. And the Hierophant is representing some sort of justice wanting to come in from the spiritual realm down to the physical. And this would be in traditional structure. So the Hierophant has his hand in the blessing. So if you've been on your destined path and not in this energy here, then you are going to, it will be a blessing for you when the Hierophant comes in. If you're hanging out with the devil, that's what this energy probably is coming. Like, some information got out, and this person probably is not accepting this offer because of this information. Look how much, we have the transition coming in by horse. We have the Knight of Swords by horse, the Knight of Cups by horse, the Knight of Pentacles by horse. Now all of this horse energy is talking, I feel it's representing the year of the horse. And on February 17th, we moved into the year of the horse, of the fiery horse energy in the Chinese calendar. And it seems to be very significant in this reading. We will be in the year of the horse until about February 6th, I think it is, of 2027. So this energy is talking about, the fiery horse energy is talking about this love of adventure, the heartfelt energy, the passion. This is, if you think about the Centaur, the Sagittarius energy, very similar to this energy here. This is representing the fire sign. And Sagittarius, the Centaur, he's the one with the bow and arrow, and he shoots his arrows into the sky, into the stars, and they hit their target. And this energy, he's the only knight that's missing here. which is kind of interesting. The other three are all here. And so I would say that that is saying that because the Knight of Wands represents a rebel with a cause, and it represents the fiery horse energy. They're almost identical. And so it's about leading with your heart and being passionate, and his heart just is not in this offer. That's what I'm getting. And so I feel that this Knight is coming in to let them know, I don't think he's taking your offer. And they're like, they can't believe it. They thought for sure he would take their offer. And so this is talking about some sort of justice coming in about these pentacles, I feel, because this is the reward coming in for you. And I feel like this does represent your energy, and you refused this offer. You didn't feel like it was what you wanted in your heart after meditating on it. And so the Hierophant is coming in, and maybe something has happened in the meantime, because the Hierophant is now coming in, and this is justice coming in. And it comes from the spiritual realm first. So if you're a religious figure, that could represent you know, the higher ups in your church, like, you know, your bishops, cardinals, the Pope, that type of energy, gurus, whatever religion you're in, whatever you refer to as your religious leaders, that energy would be rabbis, that type of energy. So if you're more on the spiritual end, this spiritual energy could just be represented by meditation and prayer, without an intermediary, going straight through to source energy, to God, through meditation and prayer. And then there's this energy of that coming down to the physical world. And these two are being sent out to make sure that this happens, and that if someone's supposed to receive this blessing, that they receive it, and if someone's supposed to receive some sort of karma, that they also receive that. And then we have, on top of this, we have the Queen of Cups. So now we have someone that's other than a knight coming through here. So the Queen of, or the Pages, so the Queen of Cups energy is representing one of four queens in the Minor Arcana, and she is the most considered the most traditional of all the queens. She has her cup of love here. It's like a trophy for her. There's a lid on it representing that she's a container of conditional love. She loves her family, her partner, her, you know, her spouse. She loves to have a happy home. She's would most likely be someone that stays home and not so career orientated. And this can sometimes also represent your matriarchal line. This sometimes can represent like your mother, your grandmother, your great-grandmother. And sometimes if you're married, it could represent your mother-in-law and her line as well. This could be aunts, cousins, that type of energy, and as well. So now this is talking about, there has been some sort of disappointment here in love, like, and so this energy, it's, I mean, we do have the Knight of Cups, so this could be about romantic love, but we also have the Pentacles and a lot of sword energy here. So these three cups here could represent a project that you've been working on, or something that you've been wanting to do, and it's failed 3 times, and the universe is saying, give it one more go. It's something you love to do, or you love to be. Give it another chance. You might, it might be worth your while. This could represent in romantic love, like saying that you've had 3 relationships and they've all failed, and now the universe is saying, would you like another cup of love? And you're like, no way. I'm just going to sit under this tree for the rest of my life and be disappointed. It's just easier. I don't want to, I don't feel like going through making myself vulnerable. I don't want to date. I don't want to do all that stuff again. So then this sometimes also can represent, these 3 cups can represent in romantic love that there was a third-party energy that broke this your relationship up. And sometimes this can even represent the blessing of a child coming out of that, and it not being your child. And so, or your spouse has a baby with someone else. That's basically the other energy. So this energy is talking about also, you might have given someone, whether that's romantic love or family members or friends, whatever, a business partner, whatever, 3 chances, and they're asking for a 4th chance, and you're saying no. 3 strikes, you're out. I'm not. You don't have unconditional love. So you're not the Queen of Cups. You're like, no, I have a limit on my love. I have the Fool starting out here. So this starts a new cycle here. And the cycle, it's talking about that. I feel like this offer was turned down, but maybe you're feeling kind of like, maybe I should have taken that offer because nothing else has really come in. But now this Fool card is coming in, and it's saying now you're off on a different journey. I feel like you've decided just to, whatever this was, you've decided, you know what? It's not worth putting any more energy into this. I'm taking what I have and I'm moving forward, and I'm going to start a new cycle. And the sun is actually shining down on that. The Fool is, representing very little baggage. You're on your own now, and you're moving forward, and possibly in a different direction than you were after all this information came in, whatever that was. And you are now on another journey. But, the tattered sleeves on the Fool represent an energy that, although you're on a new cycle, you're taking the information and everything you learned from the old cycle on your new cycle with you. So it's not like you're starting from scratch. It's no. And then look at this. This is when this reward starts coming in. This is talking about, because you've learned to have discernment when it comes to what you invest in and what you don't. This is really good energy, because look at here. We have 6 pentacles here, and we have 6 pentacles here, and only 1 here, but we have 3 now. As soon as you left this situation, things already improved. They're already better. And this is talking, this energy is talking 3, 6, 9. 9 is like multimillionaire energy. So, that's a far cry from around 700K. That's what the difference would be, I feel. And so this is quite a, Pentacles, this energy, it's not just about money, it's about the lifestyle, but definitely, like, that's a huge jump. So this pre-Empress energy, everything that you've learned from it has taught you to manifest at a whole new level. The pre-Empress energy is talking about having all 4 queens rolled into one person, and that's the Empress energy. So it's saying you might be missing, maybe because you don't have unconditional love, but you have the Queen of Swords, the Queen of Wands, and the Queen of Pentacle energy. This one maybe is one you need to work on. I don't know, but it seems like it did you pretty well moving forward. So on this new cycle now, you've got your hand on this 6 pentacles, and that you should have had more of a return, and you didn't settle. So this is really awesome energy. Whatever this offer was, it wouldn't have been beneficial for you as going off in the direction that you chose to instead. So the 3, 6, 9, 3, 6 adds up to 9. Nikola Tesla would talk about that, and I feel like he was talking about a ratio. He would always say, if you knew the beauty of the 3, 6, 9, then you would have the key to the universe. So basically, she has her hand on 2/3 of what she has here. And if she's invested this much time and energy and whatever, she holds on to this and makes sure she has enough for an emergency. So it's good, it's saying that you were able to hang on to what you had, and you just had a small return, and you were able to turn that into something much better. This is talking about knowing, like, she has to always have her hand on what it's going to cost her to run her businesses, run her household, have an emergency fund in case something like this happens. Behind her now, she has this pentacle that could be, okay, now I'm willing to invest again. in something else that's more risky, because if I lose this one pentacle, I have enough to carry me through, and I'm still building. And it's worth the risk. I've looked into it, I've consulted with my financial advisors, etc. And this is a good risk to take. This energy could be about, now I have money for charity, if I want to give to other people. And I also have maybe some extra money here that I could save up for a vacation for the family, some sort of energy like that. And this is talking about having learned to give and take in life, and how much you want to invest in others, how much you want of your time, your money, and your energy you're willing to give before you say, no, it's not worth it, I'm worth more than that, I am going to move forward. And this is also talking about being very grateful for what you have, and knowing that you have to put yourself first when it comes to this energy, because if you give away too much here, it's going to start draining what you need to be able to pay your bills, etc. Really good energy. So we're off on a new cycle at 9 of Pentacles, and healing the heart, I feel, from the heartbreak. I do feel like this is definitely talking about some major heartbreak happened. And you know, when you look at it, it's like, oh my goodness, this person has 3 swords in their heart. But then you look again and you realize the heart is quite big in context to the swords. So this quite often can mean that you had to make a heartbreaking decision, and I do feel you made it. And I think it's really wild. I think you found out a lot of information all at once that caused a major transition in your life. And you know, the final straw was when the information came in about this, but it was regarding your love life. It was regarding some sort of tactics behind the background that were not in your favor, and how it was going to affect your pentacles, and even your creativity and your passion would have been, you know, it would have been a very poor choice. So you did make a decision, but it was heartbreaking in some ways, because it involved maybe a lover, and it maybe involved friends, family, partners, whatever this was. They may have walked out on you, you may have walked out on them. This is kind of that type of energy, harsh words being spoken. This can represent gossip, slander, someone's, you know, defamation of character, that type of energy. Sometimes it can even represent perjury in court, someone who's afraid to speak their truth. But this also represents that whatever you did here has worked, because look at all 3 of these swords from this card here are here, and they're plugged into your heart. So sometimes this just represents that now you've healed your heart, and you have disciplined your mind, and you're plugged into your authentic desires after having a heartache. And I feel that's what this represents, because look at the energy, how it's shifting here. Yeah, the Wheel of Fortune's turning in your favor. So the Wheel of Fortune actually has 3 wheels on it, representing past, present, and future coming into synchronicity. And this is the universe spinning for you. This is saying your fortune is improving. And on one of these wheels are actually the Hebrew letters for the name of God, which is Tetragrammaton. And Tetragrammaton is a sacred geometric symbol talking about the beautiful way that God manifests and God's plan. So everything, if you can't trust yourself, basically to make the right decision, then you can have faith in God's plan. And so if, you know, I feel like, you know, a lot of people might have been saying, I can't believe they didn't take that offer, you know, but you knew when you went and meditated that it would have gone, it was not a good offer for you. It would have not been a good lifestyle for you. It might be okay for someone else, but not for you. And then we have, there was something fishy in your love life, and see, this energy sometimes can represent something in your love life stinks. And I feel like that's talking about this past energy here, that this energy here, whoever was in your love life at that time was not, that is over, I feel. There might have been a third party involvement there. But this can now represent a new energy coming in with someone who really, this could represent finally this energy coming in. or it could just represent healing from that energy. This page is representing, saying, hey, there's plenty, he knows there's plenty of fish in the sea, but he has his eye on this particular fish. But this card can also be representing an energy that possibly the Page of Cups energy was someone that was sent into you to get you to take this offer. And it was part of this energy because they're all coming in a group together. You see that? I feel like there was something stinky in that situation, and it's just telling you that's what you dodged a bullet, basically. And now you're like, see, look at this. Now this could be an authentic love offer coming in. Someone has their eye on you, and they know there's plenty of fish in the sea, but they're focused on you. And then look at, this is something you've always wished for. Perhaps you have, like, you definitely have the pentacles, the lifestyle. You're on a new adventure. You've healed your heart. The Wheel of Fortune is turning. Maybe the one thing you're missing is that special someone to share it all with. And so this energy, you might be some sort of public figure or have a public platform because this person is on stage, and it's also representing someone that a lot of people are watching. And this person is highly favored. This is someone who's used to being successful for sure. And being able to handle being in the public eye or being on the stage, that could represent that energy. So maybe this is a different type of offer coming in for that, if it's not love. And it's saying, now the offer that you really, really are going to enjoy is coming in now. And it will be that 10th cup that you're missing here for having everything that you wished for. Then that's 10 cups. You have, right now, you're sitting at 9 cups and 9 pentacles, which is pretty darn good. So this is saying, having everything you love in a perfectly imperfect way. That's this is a really promising lifestyle for sure. And then we have, so we have a Tower coming in. So there's some sort of tower here, and a tower is a reality check. So I feel like this is talking about there is a reality check. There was a reality check, a tower hit. And now I feel like this tower, that's what this person was running. They're not accepting your offer. Now what are we going to do? And they rejected this lover, and they rejected your offer. And, now there's a lot of information coming in, and the Hierophant is involved now, and they've gone off on a new journey, and now look at how well they're doing, and they're talking about there's this new love coming in their life. For some reason, this is a real tower for someone, or for this energy here. And so, well, hang out with the devil, and eventually the devil says, hey, dude, pay up. And you're like, well, I can't. It didn't work out. Well, that's your problem. You better find a way, I guess. It's that type of energy. You sold your soul. You don't have choice anymore, so figure it out, but pay up. And so that's the reality check coming in for them. And this is a reality check for you going, hey, thank goodness I made the decision that I made. Because now you're going to be on stage anyway, doing what you love to do. And it's like a genie here, this energy. But this is saying you don't have it yet. You don't have it yet. You have 9 cups. You don't have this 10th cup yet. So keep your focus. This person's feet turned out like this is representing an energy of leaking energy. He does have his arms in an infinity symbol here. He reminds me of a genie. This is definitely someone who's used to being successful. But we don't see, are these 9 cups behind him? Are they above him right in the now, or are they in the future? And so this is saying keep your focus. Don't get distracted now by this tower, because this tower is more for this energy here. But you're going to feel it, and you're going to probably hear some information that is troublesome. But I feel like, like there's one person here that's in total shock falling out, and the other one is like, figured that was going to happen. And you made a strong decision here is what it's saying. So the reality check is, you know, necessary. Lightning hits the tower, and you know, everything falls apart and has to be rebuilt. But you already went through that when you turned down that offer. I feel it was a real hard choice for you to make. Yeah. So this tower, I feel, belongs more to this energy here. Okay, yeah. They were celebrating too soon. This is my celebrating too soon card. So these three are celebrating, but they're not celebrating each other. They're toasting each other, but they're not looking each other in the eye. They're not even looking at each other at all. They're toasting something that has happened, and they were celebrating too soon. This energy sometimes can represent if there was a third-party energy in a relationship that you were in here, or with this would be the person that was collaborating with this energy that was part of this energy here. And this is talking about also, like in a lot of cultures, particularly in Europe, if you toast someone and you don't look them in the eye, it's considered 7 years bad luck in your love life, which pretty much defeats the whole purpose of the cups of love. And so quite often this energy can represent gossip, slander, that type of energy. And it's really, I feel like they celebrated too soon. They thought you would accept this offer for sure. And a big part of that was you were supposed to be passionate about this person and accept, you know, and take them in and say, yes, I'm, you know, I want your cup of love, and you rejected it. And now you're on a different path, and you're, you know, you have 9 pentacles and 9 cups. They're like, oh no, I don't know why that's so bothersome. This is talking about this energy here. You walked away from their offer. And this was something they put a lot of energy into, because there's 8 cups here. And this is someone, like you said, no, I'm done. I'm walking away. I'm not working on this anymore. I'm just letting it go, and I'm going on a different journey. And I don't want to live the lifestyle that you want me to live here. I'm walking away. And so no matter what they did, they were counting on you walking away or accepting their offer, at least one of the offers, because there was several on the plate here, and you walked away from all of it. And this could have been even an energy that you had put 8 years into, and like everything was going along really well for 5, and then look at, there's a third-party energy in between these cups. And this sometimes can represent the 7-year itch. When people walk away from relationships, they walk away from real estate, they walk away from businesses. It's that type of energy, because they're just done. They're done putting up with any bullshit in the stinky relationship. Interesting energy. So definitely you made a very strong choice. When you walked away, it was a reality check, and they celebrated too soon. They are in shock. They can't believe. That's who's in shock here. They cannot believe that you didn't accept that offer. They were counting on it. And look at this, because you went off instead with your soulmate. Oh. Now that's justice. Good work, Hierophant. So the universe, God, and the Hierophant have all collaborated for you to be with your soulmate here. That's definitely what's happening. So this energy is just funny, because everything they wanted for you went opposite, and you did way better without this offer, even though logically maybe it would have been the strongest offer at the time and nobody would have turned it down. They can't believe you did. But because you did, all this beautiful energy is coming in, and because you didn't accept their offer, they're dealing with whatever. I don't know. It feels like they're pretty concerned about it, though. This energy is no way they can't, and it's causing a major, look at the Hierophant is on this transition here. It's causing a major transition for them. They can't pay up. They can't pay the devil. They can't pay it. And I feel like this energy could be representing either your mother's side of the family. There's some involvement there, or it could be your in-laws, like your mother-in-law's side of the family, some sort of energy around that. It didn't work out. And so that would be ex-mother-in-law. And now this is talking about these two people coming together. Now this is how you toast someone. Like this. I would go further up, but I've got a purring cat on my lap. You probably can't hear her because I've got a noise canceling mic on. But she's purring away here. And I don't want to move her. So this is talking about, this is how you toast when you care about someone. And this is how you toast when you care about something. That type of energy. And so the soulmates represent this last cup that you were missing. Here it is here. Really, really cool energy. And so this is saying now your soul is satisfied too, so you don't have conflict in your mind. You're going with your heart. And because you're going with your heart, the Wheel of Fortune turned for you. Now you have the love as well. You have everything you were wishing for. Good job for maintaining your focus, because there was a lot of energy here. And probably like a lot of people thought you were crazy because you didn't take the offer, but you just knew. And this is talking about, so you being very good at what you do, people wanting to collaborate with you, but it wasn't the right offer for you. This is talking about being very disappointed in whoever this was that they sent in, and you realize, no, I'm not dealing with this anymore. I'm walking away from this offer. I'm walking away from this journey. I don't feel like I'm getting enough out of this situation, Pentacle, lifestyle-wise. I'm going on a whole different thing. That was the tower for you. That tower for you was different, because that's when you were starting to manifest. That's what caused you, like, it actually wasn't so much a tower for you. It was a decision you made. The tower was back here, like when you realized, oh man, like I can't take this offer, and it's not, I've made a mistake here. But it wasn't, you caught it, you nipped it in the bud, whereas they were counting on this offer. So this was a reality, this was a tower for this energy, because you did you didn't accept the Pentacles, you didn't accept the Lover, you didn't accept the information. You know, you didn't have any passion for it. No. And then this is talking about they celebrated too soon, and then your soulmate comes in. This is, you walked away from the deal. It was hard to walk away from. It really was. But you did it, and you were done. When you made that decision, you knew you were done. And that's why all of the wheels started turning for you. And it was this decision. This is representing the stinky offer, and now the new one coming in kind of all at the same time. And then this is the Knight of Pentacles energy. So this, all of a sudden now that you're focused in a direction that your heart is wanting to go in, you're at 9 of Pentacles from 7, which is a huge shift. And then we have that reward that God promised and the universe promised came through. So really, really good energy. I like readings like this. It's saying that there's good energy out there still to be had, and just, it's saying keep your focus and don't quit now. Whatever you're doing, like, don't give up now. Like you're almost there. If you're leaving the reading here, please give it a like and comment. It does empower me to build my channel, and I really appreciate it. I'm going to clarify with my oracle now. And my oracle is Tales from the Vector. I started this back in 2007. In 2020, I completed all 64 paintings. I'm an artist. This is from the Intergalactic Federation of Light. The numbers on these cards represent the paintings as they're listed in my gallery. The numbers they were assigned. And whoa, there's a lot of energy coming in here. Lots of medicine. All right, so this is, these numbers represent the paintings as they're listed in my, in the gallery on my website. So if you want to check them out, I will put them in the description box below in the order that they appear here. All right, so we have the star energy, and this is talking about innocence. Innocence is, when you're following that North Star energy, and that's when you decided to ask for God's guidance here. that now this is saying you are a star and you will be a star. You will succeed. You do not have to take this offer. Lack of awareness. This is saying never underestimate the power of willful ignorance. So make sure that, you know, you can make mistakes sometimes in life that are really hard, especially if you sign contracts that bind you. Father figures, this is turning princes into frogs. So we don't want to be doing that. It's talking about possibly you also went and got some good solid advice from someone that you consider to be a father figure. And then the Sagittarius energy is talking about this energy here, the passion for moving forward anyway. Deciding, okay, I'm not going to go this way, but I'm going to take this other route. And you had a new enthusiasm after you made this decision. When horoscope signs come in my readings and their general collective readings, I'm not talking about the actual person, an individual. I'm talking about the energy of the sign. So this is talking about you decided to go on a new adventure, basically, and expand your life that way. This is intent, is a karmic space. So people could have had good intentions here at some point. You could have had good intentions. It didn't work out. It wasn't for you. This energy is talking about worldly and otherworldly desires. And this is like, yeah, if you follow what other people feel is the right thing for you, and you don't go with your heart's desires, then you end up, it's anticlimactic. Like, it's not, there's no passion in it anymore. You're just doing it because you said you would, kind of energy. And then the Leo energy, so there's more fire coming in here. And this is talking about you stepping into a leadership role when the Hierophant comes in. All this information comes in, and that's when you realize, you know what? I'm smarter than I thought I was. Like, I made this didn't work out because of this energy here. And if I would have continued with this, it would have been really, really hard. And this is when the Wheel of Fortune turned for you, is when you made that decision. And this was an energetic upgrade for you, and it was a tower for them. That's confirming that. We have Taurus energy. So Taurus can be stubborn, and especially when it comes to the give and take in life. So Taurus likes luxury, and you know, it is saying right here. So you were willing to receive love from the proper way. You healed your heart. You did the work you needed to heal your heart so you could be open and innocent again and accept a real offer that was worthwhile after, you know, this is quite a bit of heartache that you went through. This was hard. It was a hard decision to make, but you made it, and now it worked in your favor. The Wheel of Fortune was turning. You know, Taurus energy is also representing the energy of... you know, it's ruled by the planet Venus, which is the planet of, you know, for love. And also saying that you, it was important to you. You recognize that you have a lot of love to give, and you wanted to have that in your life. And then we have judgment coming in. And this judgment is saying that your heart is unfettered. The judgment is coming from the cosmic heart and from God. And saying, this is what you deserve, and it was up to you. You have choice, just as these people here had choice. These people had choice. They didn't have to choose to cut corners and go with the devil energy. So this is talking about you had choice and you chose correctly. And now that this is talking about your heart's now unfettered. You're on God's plan. And the Sagittarius energy is also talking about there's a black hole in the constellation of Sagittarius, and a lot of people feel that that's the heart of the Milky Way. And so this is cosmic judgment, God's judgment, and your judgment all working out. So much for swords in the heart. You've healed. It's official. I like this energy. I do hope you also have enjoyed it. Please do give it a like and comment. If you have, consider subscribing. I would be honored if you did so, and I'll be back with another daily reading for you again tomorrow. Bye for now. Okay, little kitty, I have to wake you up. Oh, you are doing such a good job of purring. Yes.